So when I was there, the mission covered 3 states, and it was the top part of the state of Mexico, from a part called Totonilco, north, and so it would be Querétaro and Hidalgo. And so Querétaro, that was like the rich part of Mexico. That's where a lot of people were just very wealthy. I never served there, but that's what I've heard. They're just, a lot of people had nicer houses there. Hidalgo, that's where the country folk are. They all speak really funny. It's all country, shack houses, lots of dirt. And then of course the city of Mexico, that's just lots and lots of people and lots of hills. And so when you do go to Mexico, you're going to be walking lots of hills and you're going to lose weight. That's just a gimme. And so yeah, just kind of depend on where you went is how your accent was, and so that changed throughout the mission. The church there, it's grown really fast. When I was there, 3 chapels were built and dedicated while I was the 2 years I was there. So one of the areas I served in at the beginning of my mission, there was a house of prayer, and so we served there, and then a certain amount of people had to be in the ward constantly for them to get a chapel. And so 2 transfers after I left, they had enough people, and so they started building a chapel. So before I went home, they already had a chapel there, and so I went back to there just to see the chapel. And it's really beautiful, and it was cool to see that a town that before had nothing, just a little house of prayer that the church rented, to now like a really nice building. So it was cool to see that. On average, it just depends on the ward, but the least members I had was in the house of prayer, and that was usually around 80. But I was in other wards where it's very populated with the LDS community, and that was usually around 150 to 200 people. But there's, like, I was in Cuautitlán Izcalli for a long time, and yeah, just every few doors there was somebody that's a member of the church. And so also in our mission there was Tula, and that's pretty much the Salt Lake City of Mexico. That's where we were told that all the Mexican members first started, and that's kind of where the base was at first. And so people there have been members forever. So there's tons of not historical, but just people who have had generations members of the church in Tula, and so that's also part of the mission. Well, in Mexico City, when I was there was 6, and so there's like north, south, east, west, northwest, and like southeast. I think there was another one, but then now that the mission I served in now divided into 3 other missions, and so that's a little different as well. A cool thing is that it has tons of Book of Mormon history there. There are quite a few pyramids and things in the mission, and so in Tula, there's pyramids there, and there's statues. You can look it up, just Tula, the pyramids of Tula, and they have temple clothes on there. And so it's very doctrinal. It's very cool to go see the history of that, and also go to Teotihuacan. It's a little outside the mission, but you're able to go once in your mission, and that's one of the really famous ones, where it has just pyramids lined up, like 12 pyramids, and then one of the moon, and then one of the sun. And it's really amazing to see all the history there that you can't see in any other mission, and so it's really cool that we were able to see that. I served in Guerrero, in Hidalgo, and then I did Tequixquiac in Hidalgo, and then I went to the ward was called La Colmena, and that's in Nicolas Romero in the state of Mexico. And then I was in Cuautitlán Izcalli, and then I was in still in Cuautitlán Izcalli, but I switched wards, and it's Arcos and then Izcalli ward.